Technology is the most powerful change in the world of education.
Everything changes.
Welcome to the Emerging Technologies in Education podcast, delivered to you by Clever Books Company. Dear listeners, welcome to the Emerging Technology in Education podcast series. And we have today the guest, Sana. Hi, Sana. How are you?
I am good, Daria. How are you doing?
Perfect. Thank you very much. So I'm going to give the word to Sana so she can tell about herself, what she does, where she is residing, and anything she wants. Here you go.
Great. First of all, Daria, thank you for the opportunity. I have known Daria since a while now, and I think that she's doing an amazing work, not only in Europe, but world over. She's constantly looking to work with other groups, other people who are working in ARVR field. And I really wish you all the best. I think you have a great technology, and I'm looking forward to work in collaboration with you as well. So, Daria, I will explain about myself and what is the type of the work I do. So my name is Dr. Sana Farid. I am from Bahrain, which is a small country in the Middle East, and I'm working all over several countries in the Middle East. So my background is into training, and I'm a researcher. I use augmented and virtual reality tools. I'm determined to find viable technological solutions for societal well-being. My zeal for technology and persistent involvement in the field led me to founding an innovation company, which is called Farid. The company was started in Bahrain, where I used to live, and then we moved on to have a branch in Dubai, in the UAE, and in Saudi Arabia, which is the biggest country in the Middle East. I have been entrepreneurial since a while, and this is the technology field and the innovation field is something that has always captivated me. When I learned about augmented and virtual reality, I must have to explore further and understand how can we benefit into it in the education and learning and training sector. My work is revolving around many sectors. So I'm supporting government and non-governmental initiatives by contributing through my research and assistance through augmented virtual reality and also artificial intelligence. And recently, from the start of 2018, we are starting the region's biggest ever virtual reality program, which is called Go to School program. It is targeting more than 1 million students to have virtual reality lessons.
That sounds brilliant. I know you, and I'm pretty much sure you are going for the use of technology in education, and especially the virtual reality. So maybe you can elaborate a little more then on what benefits you see personally in using this emerging technology for the education.
So the education technology or technology in general is in constant advancement. There is regular new products, new programs coming. It's a productive shift. So a sneak peek to the digital world shows how incorporating technology in education is intricate and intense, but at the same time rewarding and enjoyable. So the more technology that we put in the classroom, throughout the months or throughout the years, we have seen that it is only helping the education. That is number one, and number two, it's improving the learning experience from the learner's perspective. So, to the proliferation of the edtech offerings, I think AR and VR has some amazing solutions and something very immersive, something that students have never been able to explore before.
That's brilliant. And I know that you are visiting schools. I know that you're dealing a lot with the educators. And definitely virtual reality and augmented reality is something that is a new trend and is beneficial. So maybe you can, and I know that this is the point that you are talking, and this is where this podcast is about. And can you tell me a little bit more about your experience in talking to people and feedback from educators, from kids in the schools that you visited?
Yes, so initially, if I can, we have had the feedbacks in many levels. So the first step or the first stage response is something mesmerizing. It's wonderful when people see something in augmented reality or in virtual reality. It's a unique experience. So the first impression is always amazing. The second impression is a bit of a concern from the security and the safety point of view. Uh, and that is mostly coming from the teachers or from the parents, that they are worried about the health and safety measures of this technology to be used with their kids. And today, I mean, we are already 4 or 5 years old with this technology being used in education. And today we have the relevant case studies and proofs for the safety of this technology. So um, whoever asks us about the safety and security measures, we are very much assuring them. And the solution is ready to be taken into the classroom in a very controlled, in a very safe environment, and in the same time, giving an out of the box experience.
Sounds very interesting. And now that I want to touch a little bit more the point of using virtual reality also for the industry. I know you're dealing with the healthcare industry. Maybe you can tell a bit more on that as well and give some insights.
Yes, amazing. That's a very nice question, Daria. My start was from the healthcare training. So in general, any training facility, and in particular healthcare training or industrial training, aviation training, these are in the conventional way, they're very tedious. They require a large space. They require heavy machinery, which are costly. And of course, if you're having any machinery, you will require regular maintenance. And so it's a lot of cost to the training. That is number one, the cost. Second thing is that the delivery of the training process is very tedious. It would take months or a very lengthy time in comparison to the number of the students. So usually there is a huge gap between the number of students compared to the number of educators available. And we found that many of these challenges can be addressed by using augmented and virtual reality. For example, the need of a fully equipped machinery and a fully equipped space can be definitely, replaced by a virtual environment, and which will be available in literally between your hands. And this is how you can provide the training to much larger number and in a lesser time, and definitely much safer cost. So that is one example. And the biggest benefit of such technology in training is that the safety. So there is a lot of hazard when one is dealing with the heavy machinery. Dealing with the machines itself requires a lot of training. There are many risks attached to it, but all those risks disappear when you're doing the practice in a virtual environment. So these are few examples, and there are endless possibilities that we can do in VR and AR.
Endless possibilities is a good point here. And I definitely think that some technologies that at this point of time are called emerging, and those that are not well known, not widely used, will be the forming the trend of the future, and will definitely change the way we think, use, see, and those that are using all our senses, and also visualize what we can't easily visualize with the words or just pictures, because 3D dimension is always much better. And if we're talking about some specific solutions that you have come across, maybe you can share some resources or name some technologies or companies that you think will be beneficial either for education or for the industry connected to virtual and augmented reality.
So when I started my career in AR and VR, my job here based in the Middle East was that I would identify how can I expand the market here in ARVR. So back, like let's say 4 or 5 years back, the technology was not that advanced over here, and it's me being a pioneer in this field, it was a lot of responsibility to educate people about it. So hence was my study to explore various products or programs coming from, like, for example, Google Expeditions, or the programs coming from Microsoft, or the programs from Unity. There's so many names. So what I did is that I would identify the leading programs in the world for ARVR and their applications in real life. So so far, let's say my favorite application would be Google Expeditions. Why is that? Because it has a huge library of more than 700 lessons, and they keep on expanding. And I am personally using Google Expedition in education. Also, I am using it for patients. So with the amazing library that it has natural places, it has museums around the world, it has wonders of the world. Just imagine you can virtually teleport somebody who is sitting in the comfort of their chairs or their beds, and you take them around the world. So this is actually beneficial in many ways that we cannot even imagine. It's beneficial for the special education needs, very much beneficial for the elderly care, for those who are bedridden patients, for those who are suffering from anxiety, suffering from depression. So with the small measures and with the small applications, or with the same applications that you're using for education, you can actually benefit in many, many other ways.
It could be applied in multiple industries, not only education, but also healthcare and much more. And another question that I have to you is that you are familiar with the landscape of Bahrain and the Emirates in terms of education. Can you give your personal opinion if the education is going the way to use the technology there, or it's still gonna take like a lot of time till it becomes something that people will be willing to use?
Okay, so this is a very good question, and I am very proud to once again remind the world that last year in October, uh, our region, for me, the whole area is like a home, because we are very closely related, we're very closely linked, our borders are matching, and we're frequently, traveling to all of these neighboring countries. So we are privileged to have the world's first artificial intelligence ministry in the UAE back in October 2017. And that is one of the biggest examples of the way forward and the initiatives taken by the government. So once a government has taken initiative, that just automatically means that everyone in that country or that region has to just follow it. So there are very, very heavy implementation programs already started, and to have the results, to have a substantial number, it will take some time, but it has already been initiated all over the Middle East countries. We have the many initiatives. The biggest example in education is the future school programs, and future school programs is simply, you can consider it is an initiative by the governments. For example, Bahrain has its own future school programs. Saudi Arabia has its own future school programs. And these programs are keen to have the latest technology to their students. All this is to support them, to encourage them, to make a step forward to them. This is just one example. So some time ago, the region's major economy depended on industries and on oil and gas, but there's a huge shift towards technology and innovation and a more knowledge-based economy, and we are very much leading the way worldwide as of today. So we are very proud of this, and it's already been going very successful, and we hope to have more success in the future.
That sounds really good. And I'm really excited to find out, because many countries are are going into this education technology era, and interesting to view how they are trying to innovate and take over each other, and really interesting who's going to be the most innovative country in the nearest future and going to implement definitely everything into education in terms of education technology. But I think that some countries are pioneering in that and most innovative, and I think like your Middle East is one of them in that sense. One more question I would have to you is, we meet sometimes people who are saying technology in education is the most brilliant thing that can ever happen to people, and that can build the future of the kids and help them to get those skills required for the future profession and future uncertainty, because we are in the industrial revolution. And if teachers are not and educators are not recognizing that, it's still happening anyway. We need also people who are very cautious or have fear of using technology for educational purposes. So if you meet those people, what do you normally tell them?
Okay, that's Daria, I think this is one of the most important questions that you have asked. It is the questions that are most critical, and it is questioned by, to me in almost every occasion. So yes, you are right. The more we are advancing in technology, the more we are answerable. And to be honest, that's the right thing. Of course, if I am using a new technology for my son or daughter, I need to make 200% sure that this is a safe method and they're actually benefiting from it. So this is how my job is to, actually secure them. I am a researcher, and I'm constantly researching about the use of different types of technology in various aspects of life. For example, education, for example, healthcare, for example, corporate training. So I am lucky to have a long list of case studies and researchers from around the world, been conducted on various age groups and various social conditions and different geological conditions and all that. So today we do have a significant number that support the technology and its safety and its benefits. So what I answer them is that technology has always been advancing, and we have to adapt to it. We have to use it in the right manner and just get used to it. We don't have to be scared of it, because today we have this technology and tomorrow another newer technology is going to come. So we cannot be backwards. And if we force our children to stay backwards, that means we're stopping them from revolution. We're stopping them from progress, from success. This is how I believe it.
Stopping kids from progress, success, and taking them away from the revolution. I think it's a great point from your side. And I also was talking to one of the people who told me the other day, when we are letting the kids go in the street, we cannot control the traffic lights and make them green to make sure that they're crossing the street on the right time and so on. Well, we need to teach them how to behave at the traffic lights, and that they need to cross at the green. It's the impressive point that we need to teach them how to deal with the technology, and we cannot deny technology because it's coming anyway. And it's good to see that many teachers are actually, according to our research, are willing to use technology. It's the only point that they need to be educated, and they need to learn where to start from. And I think being adaptive and being a good learner is one of the most important skills nowadays. And it's not only the kids who need to be taught those skills, but adults as well. And that's one of the most important things during the fourth industrial revolution. I would like to thank you very much, Sana, for the great insights and your point of view, and I wish you to have a great day.
Thank you very much, Daria, and I wish you also all the best, and I hope the listeners benefit from this. Thank you very much.
They definitely will. Thank you.
Everything changes.